The playoffs are here, and the march to Super Bowl 53 here in Atlanta began today. Welcome to Sports Saturday. I'm Fred Khalil.
I'm Emily Gagnon. Postseason play starts without the Falcons, a 7-9 record. No. Well, it doesn't really get you in the playoffs, but they did finish second in the NFC South, which, is not saying much this season. NFL aside, we're still talking about what, Fred?
Justin Fields. Fields made it official last night on Twitter. Justin is transferring to Ohio State. He was on the Ohio State campus Friday to enroll in classes at OSU that begin Monday. As a true freshman with the Dogs, Fields threw just 39 passes for 328 yards and 4 touchdowns. Fields carried the ball 42 times for 266 yards and 4 scores, but in the end, it wasn't enough. He wants to start. As long as Jake Fromm is in Athens, it looks like anyone who wants to play quarterback will have to take a seat.
UGA players are dropping like flies to declare for the 2019 NFL Draft. 4 players are leaving the program early. I'm talking about running back Elijah Holyfield, tight end Isaac Nada, and wide receivers Riley Ridley and Mecole Hardman. This just 3 days after the Dogs lost in the Sugar Bowl to Texas. They all said they were leaving yesterday. Riley led the team in touchdown catches with 9. He caught 43 passes for 559 yards. His brother Calvin wrapped up his rookie season with the Falcons this past Sunday.
Nada leaves Athens after 3 seasons. He had 30 catches for 430 yards and 3 scores. Nada caught 68 passes for 905 yards and 8 touchdowns during his time with the Dogs. The bad news about this, freshman tight end Luke Ford made it official yesterday. He's going to transfer to Illinois, which means the depth at position becomes an issue. The fastest guy on the team, Mecole Hardman, is foregoing his senior year as well. If you haven't noticed by now, the Dogs' receiving core is taking a huge hit, but there's plenty of depth there. Hardman caught 35 passes for 543 yards and 7 touchdowns.
Last but not least, Elijah Holyfield. He is off to the NFL as well. He might be the biggest loss of the 4. He's a power back who runs through all of his opponents. He hit 1,000 yards rushing on Tuesday in New Orleans when the Dogs lost to the Longhorns 28-21 in the Sugar Bowl. We're still waiting to hear about junior safety J.R. Reed's decision. Speaking of Holyfield, for the first time in college football history, a team has back-to-back seasons with multiple 1,000-yard rushers. Last season, Nick Chubb and Sony Michel did it. This year, DeAndre Swift and Holyfield did it. Swift finished with 1,049 yards and 10 touchdowns. Holyfield had 1,018 yards and 7 TDs. Now, Coach Smart put out a statement on the early departures. He said, "We wish the best to Mecole Hardman, Elijah Holyfield, Isaac Nada, and Riley Ridley as they pursue their careers at the next level. All 4 of these juniors contributed significantly to our success during the last 2 seasons, and we look forward to them making the best out of their shot at the NFL. As with all of our players, we also will encourage them to complete their degrees to get prepared for the next chapter of their lives." So, Fred, I'm kind of surprised by all 4 guys declaring because, I think they could have benefited from staying an extra year.
I think a lot of them could, and I got to tell you, how about a shout out to that offensive line the past couple of years? Because those guys have moved the pile to make room for those 2 1,000-yard rushers each year.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's running back you.
It's running back
RBU
you, yeah.
continues. We'll see if DeAndre Swift and company will be able to continue it next year.
Well, it's not all bad news for Georgia because a lot of the best high school football players in the country were in San Antonio for the annual Army All-American Bowl, a game where many players announced their college choice. First quarter, East quarterback Graham Mertz finds Dominic Blaylock, Walton High School. There's a future Bulldog, and he's gone 57 yards for a touchdown. What about his future teammates? Well, Georgia picked up a big commit from the number 4 defensive back, Tyreek Stevenson. Chose Georgia over Miami, but the Bulldogs lost a local guy. Cedar Grove's wide receiver Jaden Hazelwood chose Oklahoma over the Bulldogs here in the home state. Emily?
Gosh, and he's a baller. All right, so Alabama and Clemson are in Santa Clara, California tonight for the national championship. It's on Monday, only 2 nights away at Levi Stadium. Alabama and Clemson meet for the 3rd time in 4 years for the Natty. Former Cartersville great Trevor Lawrence is gearing up to face Bama's defense. Only 3 freshman quarterbacks have beat a Nick Saban team, and that's in the history of Nick Saban being a head coach. It was last done in 2007. Florida quarterback Chris Leak did it in 2003 while Saban coached at LSU. Lawrence says his teammates have prepared him for the moment.
Can't really mimic the speed and their physicality except for going against, our defense, our starting defense. So I think just they're a great defense, but our defense is pretty good too. And we've had to go against them a lot just through preseason and spring and also through the season. So.
Today, Georgia Tech celebrated its 40th season in the ACC, opening conference play against Wake Forest and McCamish Pavilion. New head football coach Jeff Collins meeting and greeting fans before tip-off today. Look at that, signing autographs with his Twitter handle. All right, guess he wants you to follow him. First half action now, Wake Forest driving the lane. Freshman Michael DeVoe takes it away, skips it ahead to Jose Alvarado. To Moses Wright with the finish. James Banks will hand it off to DeVoe. Then Banks cuts to the basket for the big finish. Look at this. The pass and the dunk. How about more Banks? The bank was open today. He's going to block one shot right here. Oh, and then get the weak stuff out of here. Twice. Goes to Alvarado, who brings it up and feeds Wright. Wright kicks it to DeVoe, and he drains the three. The Jackets win 92-79. While some fans got to meet new head coach Jeff Collins before the game, everyone else got a formal introduction at halftime, including the rest of the Collins staff. You may recognize one of his coaches. That's former Georgia Tech running back and Jonesboro native Tashard Choice out of Lovejoy High. We got to catch up with Tashard before the game on what it's being like being back home and his influences as a coach.
Man, ecstatic. When I hung up the phone, me and my fiance looked at each other and I was like, hey, we going home. You know what I mean? And so she was excited, I was excited, my mom, my family. So it's been nothing but great things on my side, just how I feel about being back here. What's funny, Coach Gundy, who's the assistant head coach for Oklahoma, he coached me and Seth both. And he coached Adrian Peterson as well and DeMarco Murray. So I grew up, being in that system, you understand how important the running back position is and what you have to do to be able to play it. And so learning from those guys, they're very smart and how they evaluate and also how they see the run game. And so picking up a lot of that information has helped me, and I'm thankful for them guys. I tell them all the time I love them. More importantly, thank you for giving me the opportunity, because they gave me the opportunity so I can ultimately be here at Georgia Tech. So I'm always in the gratitude to them.
Georgia playing at Tennessee today in Coach Tom Crean's first SEC road game now. Volunteers get it here, and they go with it. Big finish from Jordan Bowden. He had 20 for Tennessee. And right before halftime, Georgia goes to the bucket, and Kyle Alexander with a block to end the half, and UT was up 29. Second half, Tennessee with the feed to Alexander and one. Tennessee was up 27, and UT crushes Georgia in Knoxville. The final, 96-50.
Ouch. Wildcard weekend is here. 2 games down, 2 more to go. Today, Colts Texans and Seahawks Cowboys. We have the winners and losers coming up on CBS 46 Sports Saturday.
CBS 46 Sports Saturday is powered by Gas